Good day, everyone. I am Mariluigi Ubena, and I'm going to continue the discussion of the following. First, situation and leadership. Second, behavior and leadership. And the third is effective leadership. So first, let's have a situation and leadership. This means adapting your management style to each unique situations or task to meet the needs of the team or the team members. So in 1969, Ken Blanchard and Paul Hersey developed the situational leadership theory. This theory has its four styles. First style is directing. So directing is consists of high directive behavior and low supportive behavior. This means that the leader provides specific directions about the goals. The leader shows and tells a person what, when, where, and how to do something. And then the leader closely monitors the person's performance in order to provide frequent feedback on themselves. The second style is coaching. It consists of a high directive behavior and high supportive behavior, meaning the leader explains why, solicits suggestions, encourage and continues to direct goal or task accomplishment, meaning the leader are the one to decide if a person has lost commitment and providing directions is not enough. So you as a leader, you have to provide support and encourage to your team or to your employee. The third style is supporting. Supporting consists of a low directive behavior and high supportive behavior, meaning the leader and the employee makes decisions together. The role of the leader is to facilitate, listen, encourage, and support. The leader support the person's efforts, listen to the suggestions, and ask a good questions to build his or her confidence and his or her competence. So the last style is delegating. It consists of a low directive behavior and a low supportive behavior. This means that the employee makes the decisions about what, how, and when. So the role of the leader is to value the person's contribution and support his or her growth. So the successful leader could look at situations with different perspective. They assess the situation and behaviors of the team members in play, after which they determine the type of leadership approach to use to get the best results. So, the situational leadership is a relationship-oriented type of leadership. It bases a leader's directives on the readiness and ability of his followers. So, this is why it is seen as a flexible approach. The leader does not use a single type of leadership across all his team members. So in order for it to work, the leader must have established a relationship with his team members in order to understand their state of mind when receiving directions for the task they need to complete. So now let's move on to behavior and leadership. So, behavior and leadership, meanings adopting positive leadership, can motivate your team to be more effective and increase its ability to reach goals. So, the behavioral leadership theory argues that the success of a leader is based on their behavior rather than their natural attributes. So, the behavioral leadership theory involves observing and evaluating a leader's actions and behaviors when they are responding to a specific situations. Behavioral leadership theory believes that the leaders are made and not born. Behavioral leadership theory is highly relevant in several fields. This theory promotes the idea that all leaders are capable of learning and developing through adopting beneficial behaviors and performing them in their workplace. Behavioral leadership theory also encourages leaders to be self-aware of their behavior and to recognize how it affects the productivity and morale of their team. So there are several case styles of a behavioral leadership. Each one involves a different set of behaviors and may be more or less effective in certain work environments. First, we have people-oriented leaders. People-oriented leaders focus on behaviors that allow them to meet the needs of the people they interact with, including supervisors, employees, and clients. They are primarily driven by interpersonal connection and communications. So the people-oriented leaders build relationships with their team members to motivate them to perform well. The second is a task-oriented leaders. So the task-oriented leaders are primarily focused on setting goals and achieving objectives. Task-oriented leaders thrive in a well-structured environment and often show authoritative behaviors, so they are typically more focused on their team's final results rather than the day-to-day developmental process. The third one is participative leaders. So participative leaders make an effort to include their entire team in decision-making processes. They prioritize active communication, collaboration, and feedback. Participative leaders know their team's strengths and weaknesses and assign the task accordingly. This leadership style allows every team member's voice to be heard and considered. The fourth is status quo leaders. Status quo leaders make an effort to prioritize both productivity and employee satisfaction. They ensure that all tasks are finished on time, while also providing support and encouragement to their team members. Status quo leaders typically meet the needs of their team without going above or beyond expectations. The fifth one is indifferent leaders. Indifferent leaders do not prioritize interaction or communication with their team. They usually oversee progress from a distance and do not contribute to their team's daily efforts. They are primarily focused on personal success and advancement. Due to the lack of cooperation, an indifferent leadership style is widely considered the most ineffective of the behavioral leadership styles. Next is the dictatorial leaders. Dictatorial leaders often value results more than they do people. They may pressure their team members to perform well, even during stressful or challenging periods. Dictatorial leaders are often successful in delivering high-quality results, but may experience high turnover rates due to employee dissatisfaction and burnout. Seventh one is the country club leaders. Country club leaders prioritize their team members' happiness and satisfaction level. They believe that a team that is comfortable and well provided is more likely to be successful. Team members are likely to show high levels of trust and loyalty when working with country club leaders. Some country club leaders might sacrifice productivity in exchange for providing their team's moral or workplace relationships. The eighth one is sound leaders. Sound leadership is considered the most effective type of behavioral leadership. However, it is typically difficult to practically implement. Sound leaders equally prioritize productivity and team morale. They value their team members, set achievable goals, and deliver high-quality results. They are intrinsically motivated to succeed and find satisfaction in supporting their team's progress. The ninth one is opportunistic leaders. The opportunistic leaders pick and choose different behaviors from the previous styles. They can adjust and adapt their leadership styles to fit the particular situations. They are goal-oriented and will use whatever methods are necessary to achieve their objectives. An example of opportunistic leaders are they might adopt a dictatorial persona in a weeks leading to up a major deadline and then shift to country club leadership afterward to repair their relationships with their teams. So the 10th one is the paternalistic leaders. This leadership style strives to be stern but fair, much like a father with a child. Paternalistic leaders are goal-oriented but are willing to be flexible regarding methodology. They frequently set lofty goals and reward team members that achieve them. They value their team members' individual skills and offer opportunities for them to develop professionally. Now let's move forward to the leadership effectiveness. Leadership effectiveness is the key analyst of organizational success or failure, while examining the factors that lead to organizational success. To lead a team, you need to understand leadership effectiveness, and for this, it is necessary to learn to understand and to be understood later. If you want to change a situation, we must change ourselves. To be able to change effectively, we must first change our perceptions. To relate effectively with other people, we must learn to listen, and this requires emotional control. So, listening requires having highly developed qualities of character such as patience, being open to change and criticism, and wanting to understand. It is important and effective to act from a low emotional level, give advice, and direct at the high levels. Important things for having an effective leadership we have first, personality. Successful leaders have a pleasing personality. Personality is the sum of physical, mental, and social qualities. Personality is the only characteristic of a good leader to influence the subordinates. The second one is human skills, refers to interpersonal skills. The leader must understand the feelings, emotions, and expectations of the subordinates. Such knowledge would enable the leader to develop interpersonal relationships with the subordinates, which are vital in any organizations. The third one is communication skills. Effective leaders are good communicators. Effective communication in three critical areas is the key to win trust and confidence of the subordinates, enabling employees to understand the company overall business strategy, informing the employees and sharing information with them. The fourth one is administrative leaders. Leadership should be administered as required to undertake management functions such as planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. So the fifth one is decision making. Leadership effectiveness helps leaders in effective decision making. There is a need to identify the problems. Accordingly, alternation solutions must be listed. After analyzing the cost benefit of every alternative solution, the leaders need to select the best solution to solve the problem. The sixth one is conceptual. Leadership should be conceptual as it helps to visualize and analyze problems or situations. A top level of a leader considers a long-term perspectives. They need to handle difficult or complex situations. The seventh one is innovations. Leadership should bring in innovations in an organizations. Innovation should be creative. Therefore, the leader should have an imagination to develop new ideas or new ways to handle these activities or situations. A good subordinate expects the leader to be innovative. The eighth one is initiative. The quality of leadership should be initiated as the leader should be initiated. Effective leadership can take place only when the leader is at the position to do the right things at the right time without being reminded. The decision should be taken without causing delay and inconvenience to others. Therefore, the leader should initiate the subordinates as well. The ninth one is intelligence. An intelligent leader is efficient enough to make decisions and to deal with people. There is a need to have intellectual intelligence and emotional intelligence. This would enable effective leadership to taking the right decisions not only in the interest of the organization but also in the interest of the employees. The tenth one is ethics and values. Leadership effectiveness also involves ethics and values. There shouldn't be any kind of cheating and manipulations. It is important to have honesty, integrity, compassion, and courage among the leaders. The 11th one is respect and trust. People are naturally drawn into the leaders whom they trust and respect with. Fear and control-based leadership could get some followers in the short term, but such coercive leaders will not earn the loyalty of the subordinates. To build the loyal team, a leader must be trustworthy. The 12th one is delegation. One cannot do everything. The leader needs to delegate tasks effectively. The leader needs to know each member's strengths and weaknesses and delegate responsibilities accordingly. This would make the team members feel appreciated and recognized. The 13th one is the appreciations. A leader should value each team members and makes each member feel valued. Each member of the team feels the role is important and appreciated, praised in the public and criticized in private. The last one is handling success and failures. It is very important that a great leader should know how to handle each success and failures. Celebrate the success at the same time, the leader should learn from the failures. Remember, whenever there is a success, attribute it to the entire team. When the team faces a failure, accepts responsibility for the failure. So those are the things to be remembered for an effective leadership. And that would be the end of my part. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something from it.